Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we want to take a look at fights from Hvala, who actually had a perfect war and right after that a nearly perfect war in Legend League. Today we're showcasing the best army you can possibly use right now in Legend League to, well, get as high as possible, and I will show you like step by step on how you guys can try this as well. This is going to be the first attack we're going to take a look at, and you guys see it already. It's going to be Tsui Lalo. Why is this the #1 push army which is existing pretty much right now, and why it's not, for example, like Queen Charge Lalo? Queen Charge Lalo is strong as well. Like, why it's Tsui Lalo and Queen Charge Lalo? That's kind of easily explained. The reason behind that is that in trophy pushing in Legend League, you never know what base the opponent might has. And there's a reason behind why I put Tsui Lalo over, for example, Queen Charge Lalo. It would be different in war, but for trophy pushing, it's that there could be always the case that the opponent has 4 ground expos. With Queen Charge Lalo, you somehow still has to get the value. Otherwise, your attack is pretty much ripped if your Queen Charge can't get the value done. Even though you have an air main attack, you still need to somehow get value with your Queen Charge, and that's just not possible against certain bases. With Tsui Lalo, it's different. Like, you do not care if there's air or ground expos, even though it's good for you if there are ground expos. And if the opponent has multi-single front towers, it does not matter. So this is the reason why Tsui Lalo is better in trophy pushing. And now I try to explain a bit more what you're going for and how you guys can try to execute this attack as well. But what Hvala did here is he took care of this corner of the base, which allowed him really good pathing for his main push. You guys can see the haste belts running out over here. That's crucial because what he did, he sent in the slammer over here and one group, and then a third group, which has to be faster than the main 2 groups on the outside. And if the outside group is faster than the inside groups, then the inside groups are getting pushed even deeper into the core. And this is how you guys have to think about when you're actually doing those Lalo attacks. It's a lot about experience and actually keeping your loons and like Lalo alive and making sure to push them into the right direction with your spells. And that's actually super important. You saw it, like I said, in Hvala's attack. He pushed the outside group way faster with putting haste spells on them, and during that he had the 2 main groups being way slower, and this means those groups stayed inside. But this was just the first attack, and I will show you guys more and more on how you guys should look at a base when you want to do Tsui Lalo. You guys like my videos and you guys like my content? Well, there's an easy way for you guys to support me. You can go in your options and then on more settings, and if you scroll up to the bottom, there's a creator boost option. You can put in any creator you would like. If you would like to support me, put in creator code iTzu in there. It doesn't matter whether it's normal letters or capital letters, does not matter at all. I would appreciate it a lot. Let's keep going with the video. The next attack showcases perfectly why Tsui Lalo is better than Queen Charge Lalo. On an attack like this, even though you probably can still triple it, but it's way more difficult for Queen Charge Lalo because we have ground expos. If they would have been placed better, like more into the center of the base, it's way easier to protect certain areas against Queen Charges, especially when you don't have a siege machine in front of you. With Queen Charge Lalo, your queen is actually really weak. With Tsui Lalo, it's different. Like, you have a couple of options you can go for with your Tsui, like with your hero dive in the beginning. There are a couple of things. First off, you can always go for value. Value buildings are or mean Eagle, Enemy Queen, and the Town Hall. Those are the 3 most valuable buildings or like defenses when you're talking about Tsui Lalo and attacking a base. There are always like valuable defenses like Wizard Towers, Expos, the AD itself, or even better the Inferno Tower, but those are kind of like nice to have. More important and pretty much in between of those 2 categories is the pathing. And I think if we pause it right now, you guys might already know what I mean. He got rid of the enemy queen, which is one of the top 3 things you can go for, but what he created as well is pathing. Like with taking everything out in this blue area, he was pretty much able to create a really good Lalo pathing. The first group of loons is coming in over here, and already with the second loon group. The next thing which he will do is drop loon groups over here, which pushes his main group. Like this is the number 1, this is the number 2, and number 1 is getting pushed into the core because there's nothing at the top anymore. And this means the first group is getting pushed into the core, the second group is following, and then he will have a third group coming in to actually make sure that everything is staying inside and staying around the Inferno Towers. Now let's see how he's doing it. The first couple of groups are coming in. Like I said, immediately follows with the next group from the 12 o'clock, immediately starting haste builds at the top, because this is the crucial part. Like this is the group which has to be quick with the cleanup, because otherwise our first group won't make it into the core. This is why he's using the delayed haste onto the first group. And now you guys can see the slammer from the outside, which makes sure that all of those buildings over there are gone, which means he can just get all of his grouped up loons now into the town hall, the warden ability, and this means this base is completely dragged because, well, he even had ground expos, which is probably kind of nice for Hvala at this point. And you guys see it's such a big overkill, completely demolished this base, and this is how you can Tsui Lalo pretty much any base. But even though it was only 1 out of the top 3 things you can go for with the queen, we'll show a couple of more examples which you can, or like what you can go for, because that's the best thing about Tsui Lalo, one of the best things. You do not have like one thing which you have to take out. Like for example, for queen charge hot rider attacks, you have to take out the enemy queen. For queen charge Lalo, you should be able to take out the enemy queen. But with Tsui Lalo, it's completely different. There are so many things which makes it so unpredictable if you're attacking or like if you try to defend an attack like this. So let's check out the next attack. Okay, this time it's different. This time it's more like a classic anti-3-star base. The town hall is a little bit more deep inside than some of you guys might be used to. But let's figure out how he's doing it this time. And this is the next step, what you have to look out for, the enemy clan castle. Most of the time there's a hound in there, which means if you're doing a hero dive or a Tsui somewhere close to the clan castle and lure it too early, your queen is pretty much useless. This is why you have to be super careful about the range and have to pretty much know the range when you're attacking a base and you cannot check it. So what Hvala is doing, he's breaking into the tunnel because he knows that the range of the CC isn't covering the town hall in the beginning. Then his own queen is going for the enemy town hall. Because he does not really know yet what is in the enemy clan castle, he decides to freeze the enemy town hall instead of bringing already the queen ability. This is paying off because there are actually 2 dragons inside, which means he will just kill those easily with his queen. Otherwise, if there would have been a hound in there, he would have just swagged his queen ability pretty much, but still got the value done because he got rid of the enemy town hall. This is creating not only once again pathing, but he got the value as well. You always want to go for those 2 in combination. One of the top 3 and pathing. With this, like with taking out this part of the base, there's really great pathing around the top side with once again working with more than just one group. If you just have one group and spam everything in, that won't work. You have to funnel your troops through the core and through the base to make sure that your loons are pretty centralized, if it makes any sense, and that your spells get as much value as possible. So let's figure out how the rest of the attack looks like, because once again, like in the first attack, it seems like that the enemy queen is not going down. But because we have still a big group of loons left, it looks pretty good. We have a couple of minions around, should be any second now getting to the enemy queen, should take her out, and this means this is still going to be a triple, even though it's a little bit more close, but we should have taken out an enemy queen. And this is another important thing, you have to time your skeleton spell perfect. You have a lot of spells to work around that, like you could easily add another skeleton spell, but if you have those 3 spells, you normally are able to take the enemy queen out, but you have to be careful with that. So let's check out another anti-2-step base and what he's going for this time. Okay guys, you should know this base, right? And a quick reminder, do not use this base anymore, at least not with any changes after the decoration bug got changed. Like, do not use this base anymore. But let's see how Nemesis Hvala is doing this. So the first thing about this is once again the CC range, which means the CC range is covering the queen and the eagle, which means 2 out of the top 3 valuable defenses are pretty much taken out because you cannot go for it because the enemy clan castle is covering it. So let's take a look at the next possible thing, which is the town hall. The town hall is super deep inside, which means we will never ever get it with only our heroes. This is why he's going for pathing. Okay, battery, thank you for the reminder. But this is why he's going for pathing. And this means this is basically a ring base. Like, this base is set up that troops are walking on the outside or like flying on the outside and never get to the town hall. With taking care around like this part of the base, with the queen breaking through the defenses and he's freezing the cannon, this makes sure that he's actually getting the air defense out of the way, and this means he took care of a huge part of this base. Now, once again, what is he doing next? And let's pause it right now, because he's once again working with the pathing of the loons. He has once again group number 1, which in the end is going to be the group which is supposed to take out the enemy town hall. But when you're like, if you're spamming everything in over here, the loons will just fly around and will never ever get to the town hall. What he's doing instead is he has a group number 2, which he's sending in and supporting them with spells to make sure that everything is taken out. And with clearing this area of the base, the group number 1 has to go inside because there are no other options. So let's try to figure it out and see what exactly he is doing and how he's doing. He's starting off with a slammer, tanking the wizard tower and arch tower, which is pretty nice because as long as there's no air defense on your slammer, the slammer normally has a lot of value. Now he's coming in with a second group from the top, and like I said, he's supporting it with spells. The first group is still around there. Now he's using a skeleton spell to activate the town hall, and everything is looking good. The first group, like I said, is going to the town hall. During that, we have the second group working around that, and then in the end, everything is grouping up around the eagle, around the end part of the space, a rage, just to make sure that the enemy heroes are somehow covered by, for example, pups. But even though he already used the skeleton spell to activate the town hall, he has so much power with his loons, etc. still left that this base is nonetheless going to be tripled. I hope I showed you guys a couple of new tips and tricks on how you guys can deal with those Legend League bases and on how you guys can use Tsui Lalo as good as Hvala did, because he is already quite good at it, I would say. And like I said, it is by far the best trophy push troop or army in general. There are different versions of it. You can use heal spells, you can use more rages, you can use an earthquake. Find your own way and your own army composition of Tsui Lalo. But Tsui Lalo in general is by far the best if you want to push high in Legend League. And well, with this being said, I hope I see you guys really high up there, and I will see you guys as well in the next video. Until then, see you guys and bye bye.